I I am many things in one, if I should say. I am a teacher. I am a project management specialist. I am a development worker, a coach for girls and young women, and I also hold different um, positions in my church. I I have a higher teacher's certificate in mathematics and biology. I also hold a Bachelor of Education in Measurement and Evaluation. I hold a master's degree in Masters in Science in Development Studies. Um, those are my qualifications. And like I said, amongst those, I've been trained in several other things that we wouldn't want to waste time to go through right now. Well, those are some of the things that make me me.
Without Sonima, you can introduce yourself for me, please.
Okay, you mean Mrs. Waltina Megaba, and Mina, the managing director of Summit Consulting Limited. We're a project management consultancy firm, and I'm pleased for the talk to you now because you know one of the people where we don't work with. We did do a lot of work with non-governmental organizations, and we do our work with Una, we Save the Children Fund, and Una Youth Champions. We don't train, we are an evidence of the work that we do, just to say a little bit of what we do.
Yes, ma'am. And as I can say, you know, one of the aspiring women that would try for look up to really motivate you for me to become a better person. So I would like to get your idea on who is a woman.
Well, talking about a woman is a lot of things put together. Over and above the fact that the woman is the helpmate for the man, socially, culturally, a woman could be a lot of things. Okay? The woman in our society and our culture is the one who is expected to be right in everything she does. Society demands a whole lot from her. Yet she's this person where society not a give, waiting for give. So you find out that in most cases, the woman, or sometimes the girl child, who will definitely grow up to become a woman, lives in a marginalized position. She is disadvantaged, abused, but yet still, this is the same person where everybody expects it for be one mama to marry, we go bring up in picking them for let them be better citizens. So, putting it in a nutshell, that is the story of a woman in most cases in Sierra Leone, in an African background where this woman doesn't have a whole lot that should make her who she's supposed to be. That is the face of the woman that I want to present on this International Women's Day.
Good one, ma. Talking about a woman, would you like to tell us what it takes to become a successful woman?
Okay, taking it up from where I started. I am a Sierra Leonean and I grew up in a community just like every other girl coming up. Um, my story. I I was raised by a single mother, and but I enjoyed the beauty of an extended family relationship. I grew up in a house where my grandparents were present, my cousins grew up. We were in this big family house, and we had a lot of opportunities growing up. The other members of the family were there to give us support. That could be the story of several other people in the African society, as much as it has its negative consequences. But I want to also celebrate the fact that in my background that I'm coming from, where I had the opportunity to live among the extended family relations, all the different things that they brought together made me who I am today. And I can proudly say, growing up, I had my grandfather as my mentor that I looked up to for several things. And he is that patriarch who taught me how to become a woman, who taught me not to just accept anything in life. He imbibed very good values in me that I will take to the end of my life. And these are the same values that I pass over to my children, and not even only my biological children. Even when I was training you, these are some of the things I passed on to you, that as a girl child, as a woman, you do not just accept what society gives you, but you dictate where you want to be, where you want to go. What do you want in life? So you fight for it. Society will not accept you except they see values in you. And how do you present these values? How do you get to organize these values in your life in such a way that they become of benefit to you? First of all, you need to know who you want to become. These are values that were imbibed in me as a little girl. You don't just take what society gives you. So if, for instance, as a little girl coming up, you are around men and they maybe approach you for whatever reason, you should have a clear perspective of what you want in a man. You don't just fall for everything. These are some of the things that can make you a successful woman.
Wow. These are the things we want a woman in Sierra Leone to have and to become. So, how do you feel when they recognize International Women's Day worldwide?
Well, it is a very good platform to look at issues that affect women, that that could change the narrative, the story of womanhood. But honestly, what I wonder sometimes is how much that affects our societies, because we're talking about women in leadership, on achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. That's the theme for the celebration this year. How much is this going to affect that girl child in my community where I live? Is it being celebrated at the top without driving it down to the bottom? So what I long to see is an International Women's Day celebration in which communities get involved, where the girl child gets to understand the theme for what it is. It is talking about leadership. This girl child at home is in a situation where she's not allowed to even have a voice. And this is the girl child that will grow up to become a woman tomorrow. So how does this theme affect that child in the community? I'm very passionate about development. I'm very passionate about the girl child and the young woman growing up. So I want to see how this theme relates with a little girl growing up in my community that will grow up to be a woman a few years from now. Is she longing to become a leader? Is she being given a platform where she could grow up to be a woman that will have a voice tomorrow. Because giving her the opportunity to make decisions in the home is what will end up leading to her being a leader tomorrow. But how far are we trying to drill down these things to the communities where we have disadvantaged women who are told what to do, even in how they live their lives, how they raise their children, and so on. So I look forward to seeing it having so much more impact, not only at the macro level, but at the micro level. That's where it will make a difference.
Okay, as we've heard our stories, what we want is advice to women, because many women out there, just as you said, don't have this platform and other things. So, what are your advice to women and girls coming up?
Well, among many things that I will say is for us to be in a position where we get to influence the way the girl child sees herself. How does she see herself? Does she see herself as someone with so much value? Because if you do not value yourself, you can fall for anything. How you see yourself is how others will see you. Do you see yourself being a woman in leadership? Do you see yourself being a successful woman? Who do you look at as you grow in life? When we were having the research, some of the things we found out were that girls in communities become pregnant. They drop out of school. They become like outcasts in some societies because they see other girls with children and they long to be mothers too, not even looking back at some of the negative issues that will arise from this. So I would like to advise girls that they build up values in themselves by looking at role models, looking at people who have made it in society. How did they get there? How will I get there? How will I get where they are? How can I fight against some of the issues in the society? How do I fight against some of the social norms, some of the gender norms of so much disadvantage to them out there? How do they contend with peer pressure? How do they live above the want of these little things, like things that you do not take for granted? For instance, you see people wanting mobile phones. That is a very big issue. The girls want mobile phones and they get abused because of that, among other things. They want to dress well. They want to look good. All of these things you can always have in life. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of things, but what kept me was being content with what you have at a particular point in time, looking forward that when I would have got to a point where I'm educated, I can take care of myself, I will be able to afford all of these things. So that would be my advice to them, that they forget about the immediate and look forward to what they will become in future.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome.